Okay, we're gonna start. Alright, please stand for the Right Honorable High King Saint Flashy 10. You're here to... Go ahead.
Hello everyone, thank you for coming today as we judge the actions of one individual. That individual is MiksaSerbia. Now, if prosecution would like to introduce themselves.
I am Diarch Magos A-Space of the Kingdom of Vailan, and I stand here today to fulfill my holy duty in charge Knight MiksaSerbia with the following crimes. 1 count of Section 1.1, bringing shame to Hala. 1 count Section 1.2, bringing shame to the Diarchy of Vailan. And 1 Section 1.7, acting in conduct unbecoming of rank.
Alright, and the defense attorney.
Yes, hello. I am Warden Dreams of Violet, and as the defense, we are going to argue against the claims of Section 1.1 and Section 1.2. However, we are going to plead no contest to the claim of Section 1.7.
So we would like to go ahead and confirm Section 1.7 is no contest, correct?
Yes.
Alright, Section 1.7. Guilty. The sound of a gavel.
I've never seen them.
That is all. Let's go ahead and move on to the opening statement for the remaining charges from the prosecution.
Okay. Oh yes, I am.
I believe that was the opening statement.
Alright, gentlemen and ladies, I'd like to remind everyone here today that we are in the Kingdom of Vailan. In the Kingdom of Vailan, we are a people of integrity, traditions, and values. And we live by these values and these rules. I would like to direct everyone to the Book of Orphans, specifically the Book of Province, verse 6. Hala saw Fulgur from its shallow form and spoke, "You must lead my vision of this world. From it, you will tell those of my wisdom." Now let's look into that. You must lead my vision of this world. On the 22nd of November, we passed something called the Decree Passive, which stated that as commandment from on high and from Orphans itself, there shall be no further violence, there shall be no killing, and there shall be no more raining of fire upon the lands of the south from the glorious north. We shall stay our hands and remain as a vigilant vanguard of freedom, not as a pillager and bringer of death and destruction. It is abundantly clear that by the defendant's own admission, they participated in killing and acts out of hatred and spite towards the south.
Alright, and would the defense like to go ahead and cross-examine that evidence?
I don't need to cross-examine, I can give my own...
I mean, you get the opportunity to cross-examine before he presents all of his evidence.
When you make opening statements, you each make an opening statement.
Yeah, I didn't think we were presenting...
We're already in.
I didn't think we were presenting evidence yet. I was just giving my, whole spiel.
Opening statement. Alright.
We need to pass out Book of Orphans is all I'm hearing. With that bombshell, defense, would you like to go ahead and give your opening statement?
Yes, I would. Alright. So, essentially, our argument is that the terms of both Section 1.1 and Section 1.2 of the Codex of the Veil are, first of all, incredibly vague and seem to serve only for the Church and the State to claim whatever the crimes that they want to essentially be shameful to the nation, because of the fact that we have almost no case law or anything to actually set precedents for what is and isn't illegal. So, additionally, both of them seem to focus a lot on shame, which, other than being subjective, is something that we can argue this crime in itself did not actually cause. So, essentially, in Miksa committing his acts of killing the villagers in the PRS, this act itself went unnoticed for almost a month, and seemed to have almost no effect on Vailan or the world as a whole, until the information was released by Slovakia. And in their phrasing of the release in WikiLeaks, they are the ones who brought shame to Vailan, not Miksa and his own action. That's what I'm arguing.
Alrighty. Well, then in that case, we'll go ahead and throw it back to the prosecution to go ahead and admit any evidence they deem necessary and vital to this case.
All right. Well, the state's evidence for this is that, one, they clearly did bring shame to the state of Vailan, because multiple times the Kingdom of Vailan has publicly stated we are completely neutral on the event of Slovakia, and we have no interest in getting involved at all into that region in any capacity. However, as MiksaSerbia often references Vailan, has many statements like protect Vailan, and is very adamantly open and patriotically Vailan, he is in essence functioning as an emissary of the state and can be seen as a public representative of the state. And within that context, his actions directly negatively impact our own image. And as such, it is paramount that to ensure the integrity of the state and that we as a nation believe in the statements we make, that this person find punishment and gets convicted for going against the state's own spoken word. His action of killing these villagers out of revenge is nothing short of clear insubordination.
All right. And defense, would you like to respond?
Yes, I would like to respond.
Not know you didn't graduate. That blows my mind.
Okay.
Kevin, you're
Thank you,
supposed
Megan's
to
mother.
work.
Yes, we're supposed to be doing our work.
And Magus, if you will please submit into evidence the smoking gun which caused all of this, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Awesome. Actually, I have something to say. Despite the claims that he killed the villagers for revenge, Miksa also claimed that the villagers were originally his. I presume in the sense that he actually built Illyrdom and brought them there. So, in a sense, although he was trespassing in southern lands, if, as he states, these villagers were his, he was not interfering in southern affairs, as killing your own villagers really has nothing to do with the South, who in fact, once again, did not notice that they were gone, and therefore presumably was not using them for over a month. Killing your own villagers is not a war crime, as we are not present in a war. Also, in the history of Vailan, we have killed our own villagers at times, such as in the Rainbow Row incident mentioned in our wiki. He claims they were his villagers. I mean, it was on our wiki, so I don't know what you think I'm admitting to. Oh yes, but I enjoy responding to the chat.
I would also like to
Participation
state
from
for the
both.
record, it is genuinely 2 events. We filmed just for the wiki clarification. Rainbow Row had there was a bug, I believe, in 1.4, which made villagers constantly reproduce. And so whenever you'd go into the area, your frames would drop from 60 to 20. So we did a purge to decrease the number of iron golems there. Coincidentally, a couple weeks later, it ended up being that all the villagers, with only 2 survivors, were all murdered, which is 2 different events.
Oh yes, separate incidents. I
Just
apologize
as-
for not making that clear.
Uh,
I just did a precursory skim of our wiki.
Yeah.
And the first incident we actually made a video of. 2 different events, just want to clear that up. Alright, is that your statement?
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
Well, Micro Safe Space, would you like to introduce any more evidence to the board?
I would like to respond to that statement by stating
by all
rather
means.
clearly. They could not possibly be MiksaSerbia's villagers because he has made no statement that he was intending on rejoining Vailan with any of the things he had built, any of the things he had made, or any of the things he had created within Slovakia. They belong to the state that rightfully held that land and that territory. And by destroying property of that state, he negatively impacts on the public image of Vailan. Thus, Section 1.2 does apply.
I see.
Try that. We use the fact that jumps up counting that way. Plans to the vegetation.
Why is Wednesday not?
Oh, we have not publicly stated what we were asking for punishment here. We were leaving it up to discretion of the judge. That was the whole point. This is a sentencing hearing, not a trial hearing.
Yes.
The trial, yeah.
Essentially, despite my arguments against the claims, it is unlikely that any of the claims will actually be dropped. We are arguing for a lower sentence. Due to
Let the record
There
state
is no jury.
the defendant admitted that they acknowledge that these claims are valid and are unlikely to be dropped.
No, I do not admit they are valid. I just believe that they are so vague that you could, quite frankly, apply them to pretty much anything you want. So it's hard to argue against something that has no arguments.
And there's still one charge that hasn't been touched on, I believe.
They pleaded no contest to 1.7.
About 1.1?
1.1 was direct violation of the decree passive, which was a religious decree about how our faith shall stay our hands of aggression. And Book of Prophets, verse 6, stating is that since these holy words come directly from the church and from the faith, Allah states that you must lead from my vision of the world being the vision put forth by the faith. And he is in conflict of that by inflicting violence in the Southlands.
Gotcha. Would the defense like to say any more?
My argument against that, which is essentially that I don't think it particularly qualifies as being violence against the Southlands, as, once again, it went completely unnoticed. It had no effect on anyone up until the picture was released. And quite frankly, the will of Allah is very subjective and has been used in the past to also, other than the decree passive, which was passed recently, in the past it has been used to justify war and violent action. So, and frankly, I'm not sure that this would bring shame to Allah.
Well, if there's nothing more to say, I will go into my chambers and deliberate the punishments that need to be dealt out here. So,
I hate Spencer's soundboard. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, man, sure wish I was as good at talking as I am at writing things down. I had some great arguments written down, but I can't actually freaking speak, which is the issue.
Just
It's
put,
okay.
just put them in chat. We could have done this over chat. That would have been less entertaining.
It would have absolutely been less entertaining.
Well, we shall see what happens now.
Uh,
I love the ceiling Spencer did in here. Spencer and Joe spent like a long ass time making this ceiling. It is absolutely amazing.
Spencer did that.
Yeah, the ceiling's really good.
yes. Courtroom brawl, then. There's a reason we said not to bring any weapons.
There will be no fighting in the courtroom as we wait for
Okay.
Spencer to return and squeak his and use his gavel.
Great.
Do 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 do. Yep. Well.
This is just an update for everybody. You guys can talk.
Oh yeah, the peanut gallery is fully open.
Yeah, you guys are. Some people are still server muted. Someone's server muted. No, nobody's server muted.
Yep. If y'all wanna
Y'all want to talk, you know?
Gonna give opinions on this trial, give suggestions for the trial tonight to make it better. Other than have me not talk, which is already a given.
Oh no, Megan, you have to talk tonight.
Sure.
Your co-counsel dreams of Violet.
I can be the lawyer that just like sits down and like whispers things to the defendant. That's always the
Yeah,
best lawyer.
I had to go help the king get stuff written down. Because we want stuff written down so that we can have historical precedent.
Yes.
Yes.
Case law is very important.
I was
The
not.
case-
Wait, is he the king or the president? I thought you just
The
said
king.
he was the king.
He's the king.
Precedent.
Then why'd you say you made him the president?
We made
Okay,
him the
guys. We're
You
gonna
made him the
resume.
president and the king?
Yeah. Damn.
Please, silence now. We're gonna start again. Alright. Please rise, everybody.
So, in my chambers, came across one thing. Now, Allah's word has been with us for a while. But the one thing we know is that as time has progressed, our interpretation of his word has changed. From back in the days when we used to be very aggressive people, forcing onto others, to the modern day man, where we use his word and his holiness to help others. It's varied a lot. And for a new member like Miksa, who read the text as we did, I think when it comes to section 1.1, he is innocent. Interpretations may change, and our interpretations on our beliefs may change, but it doesn't mean that he's gone through the same change that we have. So in that sense, I do not believe that it brought shame to section 1.1, which is hollow. However, I find him guilty on accounts 1.2 and of course 1.7, which he admitted to. The reason of this is that due to his activity, he is seen as a semblance of Vailan's goal. And our declaration of being peaceful and neutral and trying to help everyone during the Shivakian split was very clearly not mimicked by his actions. Because of this, I'm ordering him to repay the 8 villagers to the People's Republic of Shivakia, which is who currently owns the territory where he killed the villagers, and also provide 1 stack of iron blocks as compensation to the PRS for this tragic event. Additionally, section 1.7. We are not going to be removing his rank of knight, as when he did this act, he was not a knight. However, because we know that this type of mentality was in his heart, and it might be today, we will be giving him a 2-week suspension from the high table and all voting permissions stripped. That is my judgment. This is the sound of a gavel. Thank you for coming. I'd like to go ahead and say thanks to all who came for this test run of the first Vailan court hearing. And I hope that we see you all tonight for round 2 with the Kingdom of Vailan versus the _ run. It's been a pleasure having all of you here. And any recommendations, feel free to speak up now. Thoughts, comments, concerns? Anything we can improve for tonight's hearing? I'd love to hear it.
Yes,
Snacks.
you're always looking for.
Provide snacks. That's a great idea. We need to go get fish for the next one. You got that, Tim?
Yeah.
Write that down in your little red book.
Cook cod
Okay.
for everyone.
Cook cod for the next one.
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes.
So
And so you do
that
not
would
technically
be
have
2 a.m.
to be there
your-
because it's
your
very
time.
early for you, and it's the trial for the front, so
Here,
no more
you guys
charges
can now
being
send
sent
stuff in
to you.
courtroom if you wish. There you go. That
Yep.
can be the spam chat for this.